Hi guys, today I'm going to be showing you one way to curl a synthetic wig. Alright, so I wanted to come on here today and I wanted to do a little tutorial video with you guys on how to curl a synthetic wig. So I've been trying a bunch of different ways to curl a synthetic wig, and I've been watching a ton of other people curl synthetic wigs and just all of this stuff because I really wanted to try to come up with some videos for you guys just showing you how to do this. And I know everyone is going to have different comfort levels, everyone's going to have different things at their disposal, so I want to do a couple different ways on how to curl a wig. But for the first video, I want to show you guys how to curl a synthetic wig using metal mesh rollers and your blow dryer, and then this really cool little tool that you attach to your blow dryer. And that's how we're going to be curling this wig. It does require heat, so this is going to be a heat-based curling method. There is a couple other curling methods I'm going to try in a couple other videos. Some of them involve heat, some of them don't. This one, I feel like this one works really well. It just does take a little bit of time to get to the end result. What I mean by that is we're going to go ahead and put curlers into this wig just like you normally would with any kind of hot curlers or any curlers you're using. The only thing is, I find that this seems to work the best when it is held on a, like a medium heat for a longer period of time, and then you let it cool completely before you remove the curlers. So there is some downtime in between. Once we get the curlers on, then the next step is to get the heat on to her, let her sit with the heat on for, we're probably gonna let her sit for like 45 minutes to an hour. And then we're going to take the heat off and we're just going to let it completely cool, which is probably going to take another 30 to 45 minutes. So this is kind of like a 2.5 hour process. I want to make sure that I'm upfront about that with you guys so that you understand that it is going to be a little time consuming. Not to say you won't have time to go do other things in between these steps, but you do have to do a couple steps and you do have to wait in between. That being said, it gives you a really great result. It also will kind of help repair the wig at the same time because you are putting some heat to it. So it's going to help with any of those like little frayed and frizzy ends and things like that that you have. So it does a little bit of a 2-in-1 kind of thing for you, but it does take some time. So that being said, I'm going to go ahead and go over the things that you're going to need to do this curling method that we're going to be doing today. The first thing you're going to want is you're going to want some mesh curlers. There is a lot of different mesh curlers out there. You're going to want to go with a metal mesh curler. The reason I say that is I've found that these really help trap and hold heat the best, is because the whole metal rod heats up, and it really just helps give you a really nice curl and a curl that holds with the synthetic fibers. Because that's one thing is I feel like you're playing a really fine, like a little dance with this, with the heat situation. It has to be exactly right for it to really give you a nice curl that's going to hold. And I find these really give you a nice curl all the way throughout the whole hair. Now, that being said, there are a lot of different metal mesh rollers out there. These ones I got from Walmart. The only downside to these is they come with a lot of different sizes that I'm probably not going to be using, like these tiny little baby curler ones. I'm probably not going to use those, but it really, I guess, depends on the kind of curls you're trying to get. So this is a nice little variety pack. If you're wanting to do different kinds of things, this might be a good option for you. And they weren't expensive. And like I said, I got them from Walmart. Or Amazon also sells packs, and they sell them by actual sizes. So I could just buy a whole 12 pack of just this one size, or 12 pack of this one size, or whatever. And they're not that expensive either. The other thing you're going to want is you're going to want a blow dryer, which I'm sure most of you guys have. Any blow dryer with a warm and like a warm setting. You don't want it to only have a hot setting, but any one that has like that middle medium heat setting is what you're going to want. So that's what I'm using here. And then the other thing that you're going to want, and I will put the link for this down below. I'm sure beauty stores, local beauty stores and places like that probably sell these as well. I bought this on Amazon because I just knew that it would be the easiest way for me to find something. But this is a head blow dryer, if that makes sense. So it has this attachment here that attaches to the end of your blow dryer. And it's kind of like at the silicone, stretchy silicone, so it'll fit on any blow dryer that you're using. And then it literally turns your blow dryer you already own into like a salon type head blow dryer. A must-have for this. And then a couple other little small things that you probably already have. You're going to want some clips of some sort so that you can section off the hair. You're going to want a wig brush. any wig brush you already have. And that's pretty much it. You can use the dry conditioner or some type of whatever protecting leave-in conditioner that you use on your synthetic wigs. You can spray your wig down with that to help kind of keep it safe. And then the other last thing you're gonna want is a little spray bottle of some sort with some water in it. We are going to be spraying the hair down very lightly just to help us give kind of more of a steaming type heating effect versus just a straight up dry heating effect. This is just gonna help also, again, like I said, repair the wig and also help just really give you a nice curl. So this is something else you're gonna really wanna have. You can buy those little small ones in the travel section of like any store, or you can get a big bottle like this. I got this at Target for like $2 or something. So any just little spray bottle you have with just regular water in it. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and start doing this, and I'll talk through a couple of these and then I'll just get the rest of it done for you guys, and we'll do some, you know, movie magic and speed it up, because you're not gonna wanna sit here for 20+ minutes watching me put on every single curler, and then I'll go ahead and show you guys the following step after that. So the first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna go ahead and section off the hair. I'm gonna go ahead and start in the top part of my top section of my hair. This row is actually gonna go all the way back here, and then the other sections are gonna come down this way. And there's a lot, I will say there's a lot of different videos and pictures and things like that out there. If you're not really sure what kind of curl pattern you're wanting, but you kind of know what you want your curl to look like when you're done, there's a lot of really cool little like graphs and grids and things like that that you can check out. That's kind of what I did when I was like, oh, well, like I'm not a hairdresser. I don't know technically the right way to put curlers in. So I just literally Google searched it and then kind of figured out how I wanted my curls to look. And then now I know where I want the curlers to go. You'll also, one other thing you're gonna want, which I did not grab and I need to go get, is something to actually section the hair off, like a rat tail comb or something like that. So one nice thing too about the fact that we're doing this on a synthetic wig, well, on a wig, is that we can really follow the track to find exactly where this section is. So there's not really any like guessing when it comes to that. So I kind of like that idea at least. All right, so the next step now that we have our first section here is we want to really just make sure we brush through this really, really well. This is Tori. She's had a bunch of stuff done to her. She's on Tori 3.0 right now. So she is just kind of a worn out wig. I've had her for a while. I've worn her like every day. It's craziness, but she's just a little bit rougher. She needs to be brushed out really well first before we do this. So I'm just going to make sure I give her a really good brush through. You want to make sure there aren't really any knots or anything like that. It's also going to help with how the wig looks when you're done and repairing it and all of that. So just make sure you brush it out really, really, really well. You want to be able to run your brush all the way through it. If you're doing this with a free part wig, it's going to be a little bit different because obviously you're going to be able to keep this all in one section. With the, this is a fixed middle part, so it keeps separating on me. It's okay. I'm just going to treat it as like two top sections and just do 2 rows. That way the curls still fall with the part. You can put them together if you want to. You just might lose your part a little bit. This is already like a plucked, very defined part, so I'm just going to leave it as is. All right, so once you have your piece of hair sectioned off, you're going to spray it down with your water so that it's nice and damp. You don't want it to be like drenched, but you want it to be decently damp. You can spray the whole wig down first if you want. It's just you're going to probably have to like respray it again because it'll dry out as you're doing this. So I would just spray each strand as you go. I also would not recommend, I know I'm taking a brush to this while it's wet, but I would try to avoid brushing through it as much as you can while it's damp. If you have to, just be very gentle. I cause more breakage when I try to brush my hair when it's still wet. So we have a damp piece of hair here now. We're gonna go ahead and roll this up like I showed you. And you just wanna make sure you get it all there and just kind of try to keep it as spread out and flat as possible. If you don't have it bunched up in one area, it's just gonna make sure that it gets more, you know, heat evenly distributed throughout the whole curl. Just wanna try to kind of keep it nice and even as you can. And then you take this and push it in. And you also can take a little bobby pin or a safety pin if you feel like it's not staying very well and put it in as well, and that'll kind of just help hold it in place where it needs to be. That way it stays nice and tight, because you really want it to be nice and tight up against the scalp, unless you're wanting to just start your curls down here towards the end. So we're going to go ahead and go all the way back with this section. I'm going to do this other side as well, and then we will come back and I'll show you how to do the side section. Okay, so now we have this whole top section done here. I also went ahead, and I'll show you guys here. Let me tilt her up. I went ahead and I also sectioned off the rest of the back. So this is like a mohawk from the top front all the way to the back. You want to section that off. This is all going to go down this way. So I'm just going to leave this here. This is just going to be the rest of what I'm going to do for the going back area. And then I also have my side sectioned off here as well. So I'm going to go ahead and just show you guys how I'm going to place just like, you know, 1 or 2 of these side curlers, just so you can see which way it's going to go. And then I'll do the rest of the head, and then we will come back and I'll show you guys the next step. Again, you want to go ahead and brush this whole section out here. And it's okay if you want to take this section and break it up into 2 sections, or even 3 if you just want to go layer by layer. So this is my first section here. So I'm just going to make sure I have this nice and brushed out. Especially if you're working with a wig that's a lot more damaged, I would say go in smaller sections, because it's going to be a lot easier for you to brush out and work with a little section at a time versus a giant section, because it just tends to stick and tangle together when it's a little bit more of a damaged wig. As far as like curler size and stuff, that's more your personal preference of what you're wanting the wig to look like when you're done. And different size curlers are going to give you different kinds of curls. There's a couple other methods that I'm going to be doing with curling where you're not going to have to do that. It's just going to all be one like curl size. But for this in particular, you're just going to want to kind of decide how you want your curls to look. And so like I said, you're coming with these ones and you're going down this way. So these are going to be facing in a different direction than all of your top curls. And I'm just stating this. This might be like something that you guys already are like, oh, we already know this. But I just want to make sure I state this for those people out there who don't have any, you know, hair knowledge, curling knowledge at all. Because I know we're all kind of at different levels in what we can do. Like obviously if you're a hairstylist, you're already a pro at this and you just need to know the couple tips to make it work on a synthetic wig. But for all of us normal people out there, we may not know how to do this. So I wanted to show you guys, this is the curls that I'm going to start on the side are going this way, and then you have all of your curls going this way. And I'm just going to do the second one here, and then I'll go through and do the rest of the wig for you guys, and then I will come back and we will talk about the next step, which is the bag contraption. That is it was a little weird when I first got it, but I was like, this is going to be great. This is going to work great, but it just looks odd. The other thing too, you just want to make sure that when you're doing your curls right by your face, if you don't want them to curl into your face, make sure you're curling them the right way so that they curl back instead of forward. So you're going to want to come under. All right, so this is what it's going to look like. And then you are going to, like I said, you're going to continue going down in your 2 rows, going all the way down. The more uniform you can get this to look when you're doing your curls, the more uniform your curls are going to look when you're done. So just make sure you're being neat. You're taking your time to make sure that this is nice and uniform, because it'll make a big difference in the end when you go to take them out and how nice and uniform your curls are going to look. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and finish the rest of this wig, and then I will be back and we will talk about the next step. All right, so now we have the whole wig curled. I do want to state a little disclaimer here. I did originally have to start using bobby pins because silly me, when I did this on a shorter wig, I didn't actually get to the bottom of the bag of the curlers. And they do actually provide little pins in here. I don't know why I didn't think they would, but I, for some reason, thought those little inserts were the only pin they provided, but that's not the case. They have little pins in here. So I did go back through, and I applied the pins into all of them, which was good because I was running out of bobby pins. So I just wanted to make sure you guys knew those were there and that I did use them because I said earlier that I didn't have any. So I did get all of them curled. Like I said, I did the 2 rows going back here And then I have my 2 rows on the sides. And then I did end up doing like about 4, like a row down here, which is 4, which was just the bottom hairs that were left. Because like a little too much for 2, but not enough, you know what I mean? So it's all done. And the next step is to get our blow dryer and the little contraption that I showed you guys earlier and get it all hooked up and set up. And then we are going to let this dry and kind of warm up and heat up for about 30 to 45 minutes. And then I'm going to check it. I'll pull one and kind of check it and see how it looks. And then you can kind of decide from there if you need to go a little bit longer. This time is going to vary based on the wig length, the wig density. You know, I kind of underestimated how many curlers I was going to need for her. This one, she is, I think, 140% density, and she's a little bit of a longer wig. So going by that, we're going to kind of have to gauge how long we're going to have to warm her up. But we're going to go ahead and get this going. So I'm going to show you guys how to do this. Take like a shower cap, which this was provided with this here. And you're going to want to cover up the rollers, or you can cover it if you don't, you know, have that, or if you buy one of these, or you already have one that doesn't have anything. You just want to kind of cover it up. Just helps kind of protect it, keep it all kind of locked in and together. I'll go ahead and use the cap that's provided with this, since I'm going to assume most of you who are going to do this are going to probably have to buy one of these. So you just want to get all the hair in, all the curlers into it. And also make sure you don't stab a bunch of holes in it with your little pins, because I'm doing that as we speak. All right, there we go. I think we're in. So this is a little bit small for this. So in that case, you might want to use either a bigger shower cap or a scarf or something. And then the next thing we're going to do is we're going to be taking this cool little contraption here that we have. We're going to put it over the wig. And then there is this little drawstring, and you're going to want to drawstring this so that you have like a nice kind of enclosed sort of seal happening here. It's okay if there is like a gap at all. Don't like freak out if it's got a little bit of, you know, air coming out. That's totally fine. You just want to get it as nice and enclosed as possible. That's also why really doing this on like a wig head is really nice, because I can really get it nice and tight around the wig head. And that's just going to help kind of encase it and kind of almost steam heat this up for us. Then it has this little thing here. And like I said, it has this little rubber band piece that's going to go around. It says it fits all blow dryers. So, I mean, it does feel like it's stretchy and kind of, yeah, it fits on mine. So I should just want to make sure it's on there really well. I'm sliding it up pretty decently up here until I feel like it's nice and snug and tight. And then you want to plug your blow dryer in, obviously. And we're going to go on warm, not hot. And then I'm going to go on to, I think low. Depends on how strong your blow dryer is. My blow dryer is low setting. I feel like it's pretty high. I'm just trying to say all this before I turn it on, because I know it's going to be loud once I do. But I'm going to put it on low and I'll put it on warm. We'll see how powerful that is. Yeah. All right, so we're gonna go low and warm, and as you can see, when I turn it on, the bag kind of puffed up, and that's perfect. That means that I have it nice and sealed up enough to where it's gonna really just circulate that air inside there, and that's what we want it to do. So that's a good sign that you have it on right, is if it just kind of fills up with air. Just like that. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna put her off to the side. We're gonna let her warm up for about 30 minutes. I'm gonna check her, and then I will see if I need to go any longer, and then I will come back with you guys once I feel like she's completely dry and ready to go, and we will remove these curls and see how she looks, and we'll talk about it, and we will wrap this up. So I will see you guys in about 30 minutes to an hour. All right, so I went ahead and I let this dry for about an hour total, and then I took everything off and I just let it completely cool down. So that's really, really important. You want to let it cool absolutely and utterly completely. You want to be able to stick your hand inside of these metal rods and not feel any heat at all. Once you know it's completely cool, then what you can do is I just took one of the ones down all the way at the bottom and opened it up just to make sure it did it got curly enough and did what I wanted it to do, and it did. So we're gonna go ahead and take all of these off, and then I will show you guys the finished final curled product. And yeah, so I'm gonna take a couple of these off for you guys so you can see. Actually, I'll go ahead and do the top so you can see them. So I'm just gonna pull the pin out and take the inside middle out. reverse the process. Just be careful if you do buy these ones in particular, these do kind of stick to the hair. So if you are using these, just be careful when you're pulling them out that you're not sticking them. And then I also have these bobby pins in here too, so I have to remember to pull those out as well, because the first halfway through I was using bobby pins to secure them. And then we're just gonna take the curl out, and we're just gonna, for right now, just take them all out and let them fall. And then once we're all done, then we'll kind of combine them and brush them together. This is also where, like I said, making sure you're brushing it out really well is super important, because obviously we want it to, the curl to be nice and neat looking when we go to take it out as well. Okay, so this is her, and I just wanna kind of show you on the side so you can really just see the curls that we've added into her. She looks so good. I'm so happy with them. She's a little curlier than she was when like I first got her. She's got a little bit more volume. Like the curls give her a little bit more volume than the original Tori, but I think she looks really pretty. Yeah, I'm happy with it. She'd look really good if she was like up, kind of half up or something like that. But I think that it just really gives her kind of a new, revived look, whereas before she kind of wasn't curly and wasn't straight. She was just this weird in between. But yeah, so this works. You can do this with any heat safe wig. Make sure it's a heat safe wig. Otherwise you're gonna come back and you're gonna have a big melted blob on your hands, and I'm gonna feel bad, you're gonna feel bad. Make sure it's heat safe. But if it's heat safe, this is one of the ways you can curl a wig. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you are new to my channel, don't forget to subscribe. Make sure you hit that notification bell so you get notifications on all the videos I do in the future. If you liked the video, please give me a like. I'd really appreciate it. Like I said, I'm gonna be doing a couple more videos on different ways to curl a wig, some with heat, some without. So stay tuned for those, and I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I will see you on the next one.